It's a totally different adrenaline rush, cheering in a big arena versus the kennel. In the kennel, you kind of start seeing the same faces, you get in your groove, you're in your same spot every time. We throw the same pyramids a lot, and so it's like a comforting feel in the kennel, but like you get into an arena and there's 10 times more cameras, so many more seats, it's like louder.
It can be kind of just an overall high energy, and it's not really directed at a single person or like different parts of the team that like the kennel might kind of zero in on.
It's definitely a different fan atmosphere, obviously. Not as many students travel, but I would say that Gonzaga is still a basketball program where the fans travel pretty well. We usually always have at least a pretty solid section of alumni and ticket holders and just like general Gonzaga fans cheering along with us, which is always really nice.
Tumbling especially is really different on the away courts because they're generally courts that are like brought in and raised up off the ground. It makes it a lot different to tumble on those courts as opposed to like our home court, which is like a built-in kind of wood court.
In the kennel, there are so many familiar faces for all of us with the energy, so we really know how to tap into their excitement, their adrenaline. And I think going on the road, you really have to find the adrenaline in the different ways. I know for me personally, I'm super competitive. So hearing the opposing team's fans start getting louder, that makes me want to get louder and kind of outshine them too. And obviously being in the kennel where there's not half as many people as some of the arenas we travel to, it's definitely just a fun experience.
Usually on game day, I'll like wake up, shower, wash my hair, blow it out, curl it, straighten it, whatever I decide to do, and then it's a whole face. I've done it in 30 minutes. I've gotten fully hair and makeup done in 30 minutes. I know I can do it, but like I'll sit in front of my mirror for 3 hours. I don't care.
Once we start the elevators, we have to make sure that everybody has everything. Palms, shoes, bases have megs, signs, flags, and all the things. We definitely had a few situations where those need to be grabbed real quick before we got on the bus. Everybody kind of has their pre-game rituals. Like a lot of our bases have their headphones on, usually from the bus, to tune out all the flyers that they think are being annoying. But once we get there, it really is one of those where we're in business mode and all of us are ready to get into it. All the flyers and bases all do their own warm-up stretches, tumble, and then stunting with their partner and whoever else they might need to do. But from then on, everyone's adrenaline starts kicking up and we're just ready to get on the court and show everyone what we can do.
With about 25 minutes left on the game clock until tip-off, we usually go out and kind of set our megaphones and our signs up and stuff where we're going to be sitting in the arena, and then we will go do a quick team prayer. We have this whole little pregame ritual thing that we do in the tunnel underneath the stadium, and then we'll head back out and get ready for tip-off.
Travel does take a lot of time. We're pretty much out of our home and away from our like learning environment for days or like a week at a time.
The most difficult part about traveling for me, I would say, is probably missing school. Last week in Vegas, it was pretty hard missing that much school, especially right before midterms. So I think that's just kind of the most stressful part. It's always looming in the back of my mind.
I'm an accounting major, and like that's like junior year is the hardest year to be an accounting major, and I'm just really getting slapped around by it, and it's hard, and like I don't want to play this card, but like we don't have the same access to like tutors or anything, so it's really hard when you like have to manage everything and you're expected to conduct yourself like a student athlete, but you don't have the tools to. I just don't think people realize how hard it really is. And like it's physically hard. Like, yeah, okay, I'm standing there and I'm just standing and smiling and waving, but like I said, like there's so many different little muscles that you've never known about before. You're like getting held in the air, and like the difference between putting your weight in your big toe versus your pinky toe, like that can totally change the direction.
Like we put so much energy into doing what we do well, or at least trying to do what we do perfectly. And a lot of that, people don't realize how often we have to practice and how often we work stunts that don't always hit, and it can get frustrating, but when you hit them on the court, it's always so satisfying that it just makes everything worth it.
It's a team sport, but it's also very individualized, but it's also, you can't do it without a partner for stunting, so it really is based on the two of you. But I don't think people realize how mentally tough it can be to keep the competitiveness out of it, knowing that we're all there for a common goal, we're all there for a common team, and knowing that you want everybody to succeed, but also having you take steps forward without pulling anybody else back.
I think people are just like, oh, she's like smiling and waving and looking pretty and like she looks like she's having fun, when like in reality I'm probably really sore, really tired, and thinking about like the 10 things I have to do after the game. I just don't think people understand how difficult it can be to like put that face on all the time.
The most rewarding part about travel is probably just getting to see new places, and although we don't get a ton of money from athletics to go out and do fun things, it's still pretty rewarding to get to like go out and try new food places and like see museums and just cool stuff that you wouldn't normally get to see during the school year.
One of my favorite aspects is getting to go to all the arenas and just having the experience of being in, you know, March Madness and being in like the behind the scenes. Not many people can claim that they've had that experience, and it's a lot of fun.
So one of my favorite memories from traveling to Vegas would probably be winning the WCC championship with the men's team. Like the energy in there was just crazy. I know that's a really basic answer, but that was probably like the most energy I've ever felt in an away arena.
So we always talk about how like fun or difficult travel can be, but a lot of people don't realize how we travel a lot like a family instead of a team, because a lot of us will get annoyed with each other. We like really treat each other like brothers and sisters. Like it's very much, we all have like a banter with each other that a lot of people don't necessarily realize that we have, right? And all the people around me are genuinely like my family, and I treat them the way that like I would treat people in my family, and it's always a wonderful atmosphere to be part of.